So you've probably already seen one of our webinars on the YouTube channel, but it's always good to refresh and update because some things can change. It's been probably 2 or 3 years since we've done the last one, so we thought that's about time that we share some new information, the new project that Casa Linda had, and really get it all out there. So. Okay. So first of all, we have got a very international team of panelists today, and we have an Italian, an American, and a Canadian. So hopefully a lot of you can probably relate from from the different background. And what we want to do today is really share our experience and tell you a little bit about the life in the Dominican Republic, so that for those of you who are thinking of making the move, relocate or invest, feel comfortable about doing it. I personally myself lived about 21 years now here in the north coast of the DR. I'm part of management team, sales management team of Casa Linda. So my name is Silvia Tarenghi. I'm the Italian one, by the way. I'm sure you spotted that by the accent. So joining me today is Steven.
I'm Steven Bowcutt, also from the management team. I've lived here 18, almost 19 years and love it here. I'm an American, most recently from South Florida, but from the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Southeast Alaska. So I love it here, raised 2 kids here, and look forward to giving you additional information as we move through this presentation. Arnim?
And we've got our island opera, Arnim, join us from somewhere around the island. He always likes to go weekends when I let him.
I will not reveal my location.
Great.
Yeah, my name is Arnim Donawa. I'm part of the sales team for Casa Linda. I've been living here full time for the last 6 years, retired, so to speak. But my wife and I have been owners in Casa Linda for almost 20 years, 19 and a half years. I actually bought our first villa in Casa Linda on our first trip to Dominican Republic. I'm a Canadian, Trinidad-born Canadian, retired out of Bermuda. So Sylvia was absolutely right when she spoke about an international team. So that's who I am.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll all contribute and have our view and our, share our experience with you today. So let's take a look at some of the things, what we've got on the agenda for today. So one of the things that we are going to be covering is why choose the Dominican Republic. Okay, so also why choose the North Coast, because we always say it is better up here. So we're going to touch a little bit on the area where we are and things that you can do here. What to watch out for. So when you decide to invest in a foreign property, what are the things that you need to consider? About Casa Linda communities, so our developments, what does it mean to be part of the Casa Linda community? And of course, we're going to be presenting our custom built villas, because we're going to explain a little bit how it works when you purchase a brand new villa. Our newest development, Connection Condos. So that's our one of the latest project of Casa Linda. The buying process. So if you do decide to buy, how does it work? How is the payment structure? Renting your property, because we've seen more and more people that like to purchase as an investment as well. So yes, I do have my property there. Can I rent it out? So I'm going to explain you a little bit how that works. And of course, at the end, we have a question and answer. So some of the questions that you might have, we actually might cover during the webinar. But if there is anything that we have not covered, you've got your little Q&A right here at the top. So pop your question in there, and at the end we are going to be answering all your questions. So Let's start with a little video that we prepared for you with a little bit of a presentation of the area and a little bit of presentation of the area and our projects. So don't you want to just jump on that plane and come here? Yeah, especially for those of you that are maybe looking at the snow right out there. So where is the Dominican Republic located, first of all? So we are right in the middle of the Caribbean. So we are actually the second largest island after Cuba, and we are located between Cuba and Puerto Rico. So we do have a proper tropical weather. And for those of you, for example, flying from Florida, a flight from Miami to Puerto Plata is just under 2 hours, which, by the way, for those of you from South Florida, we got great news because we are gonna attend the home show, the Fort Lauderdale home show from the 2nd of February until the 4th. We decided this year we don't like the winter and the cold weather neither, so instead of going to Canada, we're going to Florida, yes. And so it's just a short flight, just under 2 hours from Miami. And so this is where we are, the Dominican Republic. And is 1,508 kilometers, 936 miles, just southeast of Florida. And we do have some great connections. So for those of you from Canada, a flight from Toronto is about 4.5 hours, 3.5 hours from New York, 3 hours from the East Coast, Charlotte, 2 hours and 50 minutes from Atlanta. So actually, where Casa Linda is located, you have 2 options of airports. So you've got Puerto Plata, but you also have Santiago Airport. So why should you choose the Dominican Republic as your second home? So Steven is going to tell us his reason for choosing the Dominican Republic and why you should choose the Dominican Republic.
Well, we moved here about 18 years ago. We absolutely love it. We raised 2 children here. It's a wonderful place. The weather's great year round. We don't get hurricanes. There's none on record to Sosua or Puerto Plata. There's 1,000 miles of coastline. Now, not everybody's into beaches, but there is a beach for everybody. Every style and vibe that you can imagine. Here, there's also mountains, lakes, rivers, all kinds of things to do. If you're bored here, it's really on you because there's so many things that you can be doing. Average year-round temperature here is 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees Celsius. It does get a little warmer in the summer and just a little bit cooler in the winter, but the average is 28 degrees Celsius. As a lot of people say here, the only good ice is in your drink. So kind of exciting. place to be. It's the #1 tourist destination in the Caribbean with over 10 million visitors. I want to touch on that just a little bit because about 4 million of those come on cruise ships. A lot of those are going to an all-inclusive area on the eastern tip called Punta Cana. We're on the North Shore. Whole other world up here. For me, personally, the only place on the island that I feel comfortable and enjoy living. So it is the #1 tourist destination in the Caribbean, which is kind of exciting. Here on the North Coast, the infrastructure is good, the roads are good. It's not a typical tourist trap. Most of my North American friends and acquaintances say that you can live 30 to 50% cheaper or more economical than you can in North America. The Dominican Republic has extremely close ties with the United States and Canada, both politically and trade-wise. So that makes things easier as well. It's a stable location, stable government, great place for foreign investors, a friendly government. You get benefits and tax exemptions if you're investing or living here. So it's a healthier, more natural lifestyle. And when they say that, a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables are available year-round. Much of it is organic, and that the food here is just fresher in general. Grocery stores are great. You get everything you need. Really, you won't want for anything here. If you want to take a staycation, a lot of us will go to local destinations just a short distance away and enjoy ourselves, just like Arnim is doing. All right. Healthcare here is very important. In fact, it's becoming a great destination for medical tourism. For those of us that are veterans, the USA veteran clinics are here. So you get all your services just like if you were going to the VA, not the same quantity of services, but the same level of services. So that's great. Health insurance is very economical. Car and homeowner insurance is more economical than most locations in North America. So it's a great place to choose. We love it here and don't foresee going anywhere to live, that is. So real estate is affordable. You can get a nicer home for less money. Services, everything that you need is here. Taxation is an important topic as well. So very low property taxes. There's an exemption for investors here. Anything over 140,000 is taxable. So from 0 to $1,000 or $1,500 would be your annual homeowner's tax here, which is really a great deal compared to most locations in North America. Let's talk about safety. I raised 2 kids here, 2 daughters. Never felt this safe in North America, as sad as I am to say that. People look out for kids. Crime is very low here. It's a safe place to live. Very few incidents happen. Low cost of living is an important factor here as well. I would say that, as I previously mentioned, between 30 and 50% more economical than North America. Now, of course, that depends on your lifestyle and how you live. It could be more expensive if you get a little crazy, but for the vast majority of us, life is more economical here, and frankly, a higher quality of life. Weather's nice year-round. If it rains, you can always count on sunshine tomorrow. It's a simple residency process that starts back home in your local Dominican consulate, and then they'll provide a date where you need to be here and go through. It's really a simple process. I just renewed my residency here, and it's basically a day in Santo Domingo, some questions and answers, some medical examinations, but very, very simple overall. So I think that's very important. Excuse me,
Yeah,
Silvia?
and can I just comment on that? The Dominican government has some special program for retirees or investors. So really what they're really looking for is that you are solvent, that you can support yourself while you're here, that you don't have criminal records.
And that you're healthy.
And you're healthy, yeah.
Right.
So these are pretty much the requirements. But it also depends how long you're going to spend here, because if it's just a vacation home and you're going to be going back and forwards, then there is really no need of the residence.
Right, the residency.
So it all depends on the on your personal situation and how often you're going to be visiting for how long.
Right. If you're just vacationing, like Silvia said here, residency is not required. Spanish speaking, the country is Spanish speaking, but English is spoken in most tourist areas. I know a lot of homeowners here don't speak more than a few words of Spanish. Of course, they know the word for cold beer and food and how to get around, but
don't forget the bathroom.
You will pick up. You will pick up words every day. If you want to learn to speak Spanish, it's pretty easy. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of words that are the same in Spanish and English. It's just a different pronunciation. So it's a great language to learn. It's fun, and the Dominicans love it when you try.
Yes.
Right.
And we always say smile is an international language too, and you will find that people smile a lot here in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, absolutely correct. There are a lot of smiles that go around, and that's something that we really enjoy about living here. People are happy.
So this is the Dominican Republic in general. I know Stephen and myself has already mentioned a lot about the north coast of the Dominican Republic, because this is what we love, and this is what's been our role for many years. So Casa Linda communities are actually located in the north of the Dominican Republic, which we also call the Amber Coast, because there are a lot of amber mine in the area. Amber is one of the typical stone that you will find lots of jewelry and being made here as well. And actually, the North Coast, interesting fact, is also where Christopher Columbus first landed in the Dominican Republic over 500 years ago, but he arrived in the north coast of the Dominican Republic. Just to give you a bit of a geography lesson, okay, so this is the whole Dominican Republic. So it's 2/3 of the island of La Hispaniola. And a lot of you probably heard or probably have been to Punta Cana. So Punta Cana is on the east side of the island. Just to give you an idea of the distances, from Punta Cana up to the Puerto Plata province is a good 5 or 6 hour drives. So it is a very big island. There are a lot of different sceneries, a lot of different places that you can see. But yeah, we are totally 2 different resorts and 2 different airports. The capital is Santo Domingo, and Santo Domingo is a busy city. Traffic is a bit hectic down there, and but it is nice as well to go down to Santo Domingo. There is the colonial area, which is like the old historical center. So very nice city. You also have Samana, which is an area which is quite developed, again down on the east northeast side, and this is where we are. Sosua and Cavarete. So this is where Casa Linda and Connections, our newest project, is located. So I was mentioning before about connection and like the connectivity and airports. So the North Coast actually comes with 2 airports. So you've got Puerto Plata Airport, which is very conveniently located, about 15-20 minutes away from our communities. But you also have Santiago. Santiago, especially if you're coming from the States, has a lot of daily flights from all over the States.
East Coast.
Yeah. So and Santiago is about just over an hour and coming from Puerto Plata. Soon will even be less, because there is a new road being built that connects Santiago and Puerto Plata. So it's going to be probably around half an hour drive. But this is where we are, Puerto Plata. And why is better up our way? So one of the things that I love about the North Coast, that you've got more variety of landscape and more variety of beaches. So first of all, the beaches are public up here. And so it's really, really easy to access them. There are a lot of bars and restaurants on the beach. There are beaches which are more secluded, where you can rent your chairs, or even have your beach chairs at the back of your car and just pull up on any beach that you fancy and just enjoy the day. And there are beaches where you can socialize. There are beaches which are great for snorkeling. There are beaches that are great for water sports too. So lots and lots of variety. And also the North Coast is where tourism started many years ago. So there is a great variety of nationality and a great expat community. So as Stephen was mentioning before, even if you don't speak Spanish, you will find people from Europe, from North America, that you can relate to. They have the same mindset. They can speak English. So there are people that you can hang around with and have a bit of a community. Beside the beaches, the North Coast also offers a great mountain range and rivers. So literally from the beach, you drive 20 minutes inland and you are in the middle of the countryside. We have a lot of eco lodges and eco places which are developing lately. So if you want to have a more natural approach and natural lifestyle, there are a lot of great opportunities. There are some beautiful rivers. I personally like hiking, so there's a lot of hiking trails that you have here in the area. So, and how beautiful it is, like you're on the beach looking at the sea and then you turn around and you see the mountains. And I think that's spectacular, spectacular views. And the North Coast is also becoming very, very popular in the last few years because Puerto Plata actually has 2 cruise ship ports. So some of you might visit on a cruise ship, or if you are planning a cruise ship in the next few months, make sure that you pick up a route that includes Puerto Plata so that you can also come and visit Casa Linda for the day. So the cruise ship tourism and also brought a lot of let's say movement around the town itself of Puerto Plata. So it's again a really nice center where you can walk around, a lot of little cafes, and we've got like Umbrella Street, we've got the Boulevard Malecon, so really, really nice for sightseeing. And very, very important fact, even though we are in the Caribbean, and yes, we do get hurricane in the Caribbean, the North Coast is actually protected. So we never had a recorded hurricane here in the North Coast. And the reason is where we are located geographically, because we have this big mountain range in the middle of the island that protects us. So that's one thing that you will not have to worry about. I know especially people from Florida. Yeah, so, and these are things that people consider as well, okay, I'm gonna invest in my property, and what about, hurricanes? And no, there are no worries about it. And the North Coast area, it's more the kind of place, we don't really have many like all-inclusive resorts here, so it's the kind of place where people really go out and mix and mingle with the locals. It offers great services, shopping as well, so that's something that you're not going to miss, especially in the last few years. Things have developed a lot. We have 3 big supermarkets in the Sosua and Cabarete area. We've got now a big almost like a Walmart in Puerto Plata. We're gonna have a big, massive shopping center opening in Santiago later on this year. So, if you need a bit of retail therapy, don't worry, we've got all that. And also when people think about, okay, I'm gonna purchase my property, I need to furnish, when can I buy my, my supplies and everything, there are plenty of options. So it is developed, we're not in the middle of the jungle, it offers real life services. Life here, it is very social, so that you will find that living in the Dominican Republic, you tend to go out quite a lot, and it is very affordable to go out to many restaurants, and you have a lot of different price points. But comparing to North America, especially, I would say probably 30–40% less, especially drinks.
Is that right?
Yes, yes, and many places have happy hours, so yes. And also, you can do as much or as little as you want. So if you just like to lay on the beach or by the pool, that's fine. But if you do want to have a bit more of an active lifestyle, there is a lot of activities that you can do. There are a lot of expat groups as well. So you can just basically carry on with your normal hobby and lifestyle that you would have home, just with a better weather. And late last year, we have seen more and more families making the decision to move and relocate up here in the North Coast. And we now have 4 international schools, which are in English, and very, very important to say that they're also recognized by the North America institution. So if like, for example, you can do your high school here, and if you want to do your university, then in North America, it is all recognized and certified. So let's talk about Sosua and Cabarete. So we talked about the Puerto Plata area in general, but where Casa Linda and connections are, we are right between Sosua and Cabarete. And the beach that you can see on this show, this is one of my favorite, Playa Alicia. So this is where you get the best sunset. And so talking about the location of our development, I've mentioned before we're only 15–20 minutes away from Puerto Plata Airport. What are the best beaches in the area? So we've got Sosua Beach, which you've got beautiful clear water. This is great for snorkeling. You can go out for a snorkeling tour. And if any of you is planning to own a boat down here as well, we have a little marina there where you can keep your boat. Cabarete I like as a hangout place, because it's got a bit of a bohemian vibe. There's a lot of nice restaurant on the beach, and it just feels really, really laid back. Like you can go and have dinner with your feet in the sand. There's a lot of live music going on, so absolutely beautiful. And the Sosua and Cabarete area are also very, very famously known as the Mecca of the water sports. So this is the only, or one of the few places in the world where you can do, you're the expert in the water sports.
I wouldn't say an expert, but I sure enjoy water sports that are available here, and it is an outdoor sports mecca, so not just water sports.
Yes, so you can do windsurfing, you can do surfing, you can do kite surfing,
foil boarding now,
which is very famous now.
Yeah, all kinds of options.
Also hiking, mountain biking, yoga, Zumba with all the Latin music, the merengue. So it definitely have a different flavor, you know, when you do it here in the Dominican Republic, where actually the merengue and the bachata were born. And also, as we mentioned before, this is a very international community. There are a lot of expat hangouts, so you definitely will not feel lonely here. And one of the best or the most popular hangouts is our Casa Linda Beach Club, right on the beach of Cabarete. So this is actually the only bar where you have a pool on the beach and nice sunbeds. Actually, Casa Linda owners get discount in our Casa Linda Beach Club, and also get free use of chairs and lounges. So this is a very, very popular spot on the beach of Cabarete. So we've talked about beaches, we've talked about you know, activities. Those are all, you know, great things, and you know, makes you wanna go on holiday right away, and you feel like you're on holiday. But when you live in a place, or when you spend a good amount of time in one place, there are other things that you wanna consider too. So what about the real Caribbean life? And Arnim is going to touch base on that. So obviously he's mentioned he's coming from Canada. So did you have a bit of a cultural shock when you got here, or what was your experience?
No, not really. Remember, I had a segue leaving Toronto and spending a few years in Bermuda. So that was a bit of a provided a bit of a cultural and just a whole lifestyle segue for me coming here. So no, I think my biggest adjustment was getting used to the idea that mañana doesn't mean tomorrow, it just means not today. And you really have to think about that when you start looking at having a life in Dominican Republic. Life is chilled. The people are chilled. I think more than anything else, you give respect, you get respect. You mentioned smiles. That's huge here because a smile goes a long way. And we talked earlier on about the language, and I didn't speak Spanish. I still don't speak Spanish, but I'm able to get most times what I want. So it's not a huge culture shock. I think you'll get used to it once you put your mind to it. Someone told me when I first came here, the best way to learn the language is to take 5 phrases every day and learn them. Things that you would say in English, like, I want to go to the bathroom, I want to make breakfast. What do you want for breakfast? I learned to say those things in Spanish, and eventually you'll pick it up. But what I've found more than anything else is if you make an effort to speak the language, Dominicans will make an effort to help you and speak English in return. Yep. So in terms of life being better here, I have had no regrets. I mentioned earlier on that we first bought here 19 and a half years ago. And at that time there were maybe 60 villas in all of Casa Linda. Now what's the most recent count, Sylvia, for 425?
450, Arnim. We're growing.
Right, there you go. And I remember my wife and I used to drive up El Choco and pass by the cow fields, and those cow fields are not there anymore. They're now actually Casa Linda villas. So yeah, we've watched this community grow, and now being in sales, it's kind of cool to be a part of that growth, But the company itself's been around for 30 some odd years. It's probably one of the best-selling projects on the North Coast right now. I think some of the things that set us apart from the others, apart from our infrastructure in terms of utilities, is the fact that we have probably one of the best security teams on the entire North Coast. Technology, we have fiber optic internet coming through to all Casa Linda villas. So your internet's fiber optic, your cable, well, I say cable, but you know what I mean. Your cable is fiber optic also. We have an outstanding medical center less than 10 minutes away from Casa Linda, CMC, and a lot of the staff there speak English. I think Stephen had mentioned earlier about medical tourism. That's a growing thing here. Also, while we're on the topic of medical care, I mean, you mentioned Puerto Plata now that the bridge is fixed, is about a half-an-hour drive. So if there's a bigger issue that CMC can't handle, you've got 2 major clinics, one of them being Bunigal in Puerto Plata, that can give you the top tier medical attention. Prescription, no issues with getting prescriptions filled in the pharmacy. Most of the medication that you're used to having wherever you're from is available here. If not, there are substitute medication of equal quality. In terms of shopping, you want for nothing. Sylvia mentioned we have 2 major supermarkets on the North Coast, Superpola and Playero. I use both for different things. Playero, for instance, has more of a variety of some of the products that you might be used to in North America, and the prices are very reasonable, very, very reasonable. So yeah, there's no want for anything on the North Coast.
Brilliant, yes, and let's say you can pretty much have a normal life, a normal first world life here in the DR in the North Coast.
It's the country. The country itself is definitely a developing country, and I cringe when I hear people use the word third world, because we are far from third world.
Agreed.
So I hope you're all really want to come here and see the North Coast and come and live here or get your second home here. So let's have a look, Stephen, at some of the things that you want to consider when you decide to buy a foreign property.
Sure. Well, security and community management is very important. This is a gated community, both Casa Linda and Connections. So Casa Linda is our villa community, and Connections is our condominium community. We'll start delivering here in just a few months, some of the first condos there. Community management is important, well, for example, here, the borders have cameras, we have guards on moto and on foot. You have to have identification to get in the front gate. They take a lot of steps to make sure that it's similar to what you're used to if you're used to living in a gated community. Lots of green, lots of landscape, beautiful waterfall right at the entrance. These are all important things to many that are new to the islands and maybe those that have lived here for a while. We have people coming from all over the world to buy investment properties or to retire or just simply live here within the community. We talked earlier about the government. It's a stable democracy, real close ties to North American governments. You have very little interaction with the government here. Everything is just so much simpler, it seems, here than it might be in North America. So stable democracy is obviously very important. You get a title when you buy your villa, just like you would in North America. Now in a development, we have a mother title and then we divide it up into different size lots. And basically the day that we start construction on your villa, we apply for your individual title. And shortly after delivery of the villa, we'll deliver your title. So it's very similar to North America. You have the same rights of owning property here as a Dominican does, and I think that's very important. And again, that's very similar to North America. Canada and the US have similar systems as well. So the stability and experience of the developer. We built over 450 villas so far with 71 condos in the works as well. We have some good experience and they're stable. Frankly, from a sales manager standpoint, these guys are easy to work for. We deliver a beautiful villa with nice finishes. These are important things. And let's remember this. These are not North American stick homes. And I use that kind of humorously because it sounds funny, but the reality is these are concrete block and steel. We don't get hurricanes here, but you could huff and puff and it wouldn't blow your house away. These are not sheetrock. These are not 2x4s. These are concrete block and steel homes. Let's touch on safety. So this is the only country in the world that I'm aware of that has free AAA roadside service. There's trucks stationed along the road. If you run out of fuel, they'll leave a guard with you, go get fuel. You pay for the fuel, but they'll bring fuel back to you. If you have a flat tire, they'll leave a guard with you, take your tire, get it fixed, bring it back, and they'll even put it back on for you. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know another country in the world that gives that. As a matter of fact, AAA, which is a company name in North America, is very expensive roadside service, and you could wait hours for them to show up. You need a jump start, it's minutes away. That's something that's very cool here. Day-to-day comforts, the infrastructure of the area. We talked about internet, we talked a little bit about medical. The roads are quite good. I know when I first started coming here in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, it was a different world. The roads and infrastructure were not nearly what they are today. But you can live so comfortably here. And part of that is why I say it's a higher quality of living, because of the quality of the roadside service, the infrastructure, the security, it's just a wonderful place to live for us. And my wife and I discuss it regularly. We can't imagine going back to a life we lived in North America.
Yeah, and especially like in Casa Linda, talking about day-to-day comforts, things like electricity, things like water, these are things that we guarantee within our community, because we have generators,
Solar panels.
yes, so
Yeah.
these are things that you don't have to worry about when you live in a community like Casa Linda. So Casa Linda quality community. So we say, what does it mean to be part of Casa Linda? I know Arnim has already mentioned some of the perks of being part of this community, and he's actually been a homeowner here for many, many years. So I think we'll leave up to him, yeah, to talk a little bit about what are the amenities that Casa Linda offer and why you should choose then Casa Linda as your second home.
Well, it's actually my first home now. But it's, you know, I draw reference to something that happened a few years ago when Casa Linda rebranded to Casa Linda City. And I scratched my head and I kind of wondered, what was that all about? But now I see the vision unfolding. Because with 400 and some odd villas already built and another roughly 100 to be built, we are a city. You know, we're building a supermarket and a gymnasium in the new phases 10, 11. Between that and our complimentary shuttle bus service that goes to Sosua and Cabarita 5 times a day, on-site restaurants, on-site water park, security. I mean, even something as simple as, oh, I'm out of water, no problem. I put my bottle on my step. And in a couple hours, some guy comes around in the van, takes my empty bottle, puts a brand new one there, takes the money, and it's gone like magic. And these kinds of amenities, I know it's kind of hard to quantify, but boy, whew, when you live here and you don't have to worry about those things, even a simple thing like your monthly statements, you have a one bill system. So I don't have to run down to Ed Norte to open an account. I don't have to go to the Lancer Cable to pay my cable bill. I get one statement in the end of the month. It itemizes everything that I've used, and I pay one statement, one bill. That's super. That is better living for me. Trash pickup 6 days a week. I came from my last, when I retired out of Bermuda, one of the wealthiest islands in per capita in the world, and we have 1 day a week trash pickup. Our trash gets picked up 6 days a week. Yeah. Let's talk about security for a minute. Stephen touched on that. Access control at the entrance to all phases. If you're not expected, you're not going in unless someone says, yes, I'm expecting you. If you're going in, you surrender your ID, you get a visitor's pass, you get your ID when you come back out. That's just standard security. Not only that, we also have security officers that have small portions of the community to patrol. We have a checkpoint system that's being revised right now. So the officers have X number of minutes to get to a particular checkpoint, put an electronic one to the checkpoint, so they're keeping themselves honest. And not only that, we have mobile supervisors, 2 on every shift, that go through the community 24 hours a day. So can I recap? Access control, actual foot patrol during the, within the community, mobile security, and we have well over 200 CCTV cameras throughout the entire complex that's been monitored 24/7. Do we need it? Probably not, but it's a deterrent. If anyone's thinking of, doing something nefarious inside of Casa Linda, they'll certainly think twice about it. And that right there was a deciding factor for my wife and I wanted to make that commitment to buy it. It's a safe place. So let's talk about some of the other amenities. We talked about the water park that's available free of used for free for the owners, and also owners in connection will have access to Casa Linda amenities and vice versa. We have a mini golf, 9-hole mini golf course. Walking trail. There's 2 walking trails throughout the community. It's just a feel-good kind of place to be. And my wife and I have absolutely no regrets in doing this. Over to you.
Oh, and not just as part of the amenities as well, let's not forget our on-site restaurant, Castaways, which where is a really popular hangout place as well with the owners. We have live music, a few times a week. We also have our beach club in Cavarete, the free shuttle bus that we mentioned. So if any of you are a bit scared or put off by the driving here in the Dominican Republic, that's not a problem, because our shuttle bus actually can take you around. They go down to Sosua Beach, they go to Cavarete Beach, they go to the grocery store, they go to the town center. So there is no need to own a car while you're here. Also, another thing that is very important to highlight, especially if you have your villa, you have your own pool, you have your own garden. Do you want to look after it, or is it just easy to pay for somebody to look after it? And here it is actually very affordable to pay for somebody to look after it. So we have got a service company within our community that can take care of it. And things like housekeeping, and this is also very important because you might not live here on a full time. So what about when you're not here? So those service company can take care of all that for you, because things like security and services is important. Yes, when you're here, but also when you're not here. And as Arnie was saying, we have a full administration, so you get your bill all in once. We have our owner liaison, so if there is anything that you need, so there is a person that you can refer to for any event that you have. And one of our newest entry of Casa Linda is our event coordinator. So community is a big part of Casa Linda. So it's not just a home, it's not just a villa or a condo in the Caribbean, it is a community. So our owners like to get together, like to do activities together. Actually, in a few weeks, a group of owners are off to a cruise ship around the Caribbean, for a little trip. They do staycation. We have activities like fitness going on a weekly basis. We have special events on a special occasion like Valentine's. We have our Christmas owners. So these are all things that really create community between our owners and keep you busy as well. Yes. And so this is Casa Linda. So this is our Casa Linda community. And as I say, community is probably one of the last things that people think about, but it is very, very important especially when you are in a foreign country. So we've mentioned about the two developments, Casa Linda and Connections. So just gonna general view. So Casa Linda is our main development where we build custom villas, and Connection is our latest development, which is just a few minutes drive from Casa Linda, and we have 71 condos under construction. So some people might prefer to have their own private villa with their own private pool, others might prefer the condo life, so there are options. So let's take a look about the villas. So what does it mean to build your own custom villa? So Steven is going to explain about it.
Okay, so we do custom villas, as Silvia just mentioned. We have our own floor plans, but you have the ability to modify those. We have in-house architects, in-house engineers. So your villa, your way is a term we've used for some time. You would go to our design department before we started construction, choose all your finishes, choose everything from your front door to your floors, cabinet styles, configurations, every color, handle, sink, faucet, all these are choices. So out of 450 villas, I don't believe there are two that are exactly alike. In fact, I'm confident that's the case. All of our villas also include a private pool and landscaping and we build from 2 bedrooms up. Now I want to kind of touch on that a little bit. We also do a mother-in-law suite, or we call it guest house with great room. So it's a 1-bedroom, bathroom, closet, living, dining, kitchen, has its own terrace, but it has to be part of your main villa. So it's separate, but it has to be on the same lot. It doesn't come with land. And then we do additional bedrooms called guest houses. Lots of choices. I mean, if you want a great big house, we do that. If you want something small and kind of cozy, we do that. Everything from just over 1,000 square foot to basically any size that you want. So you go through and choose the model, and then you'd select a lot, and then you'd select the finishes in our design department. So kind of an exciting and fun process. I know I've gone through it with quite a few of our buyers. Build time right now is 5 months. Okay, now during COVID, it was much longer, supply chain issues, etc. But the last handful of villas that we've delivered over the last few days have all been right at 5 months. So we hope to maintain that. That's a great build time. I know in most North American communities, it takes over a year for that. We provide high quality finishes. For example, your countertops could be quartz or granite. Your cabinets could be hardwood or MDF, your choice, all within our standards, so all the same price. A lot of builders will get you in and say, oh, I have this $200,000, $300,000 villa, and by the time you're done, it's much, much more. You don't need to upgrade anything from our standards. Now it's your choice if you want to. For example, we use travertine. Here it's called Coralina for our pool deck. Some of the benefits of that are it's never slippery, hottest day of the year, you can walk across it barefoot, and 3, it's absolutely beautiful natural stone. I know in the States it's very costly. So yeah, kind of exciting, lots of possibilities, and we'd love to chat with you about that. If you're interested, give us a holler, send us an email, send us some smoke signals, give us a call, something. Okay.
Yes, and of course we can share all the floor plans and prices, after the webinar. So there is really for many options for every budget. And I think every floor plan is really taking in consideration the outdoor living, because they all have the outside terrace, the outside bar, because we are in the Caribbean, and that's what life is all about.
You know, and that's a very good point, Silvia. In this villa, in the photo, you can see the bar has 4 chairs in front of it. There's cable TV or internet connection outside, so your television your living room and most of your life is spent living outdoors here. This particular pool has a platform on the right, so you can put your lounge chairs in there, dangle your feet in the water, and sip on a pina colada or a Presidente, which is the national and very famous beer here.
And no need of central heating.
Exactly. So great.
So these are our villas. We are currently developing phase 12 of Casa Linda. We still have lots available for pretty much every model that you want to build.
Well, let's also add to that, we still have some ocean view lots. They do require a 2-floor villa. There is an upcharge for that premium lot, but there are still several available. This particular model here is a 4-bedroom Sunseeker, and it's just one of about 15 models that we offer.
Perfect. So this is our villas at Casa Linda. So we mentioned about Connection, our newest development, where we have 71 condos under construction. Some of them will be delivered in the next few months. Now those are actually walking distance from the beach, from the famous Encuentro Beach. Those are 2 and 3 bedrooms. So Arnie, can you tell us a little bit about the condos?
Sure. As you mentioned, 71 condos, 2 and 3 bedrooms. There are 3 buildings that are dedicated to the 3-bedroom units. And there are actually 11 buildings altogether, and the other 8 buildings are 2 bedrooms. Currently, almost ready for delivery will be buildings 6, 7, and 8. Actually 8, 7, and 6 in that order. And shortly behind that would be 9 and 10 and 11, and then the others would be built. Surprisingly, a lot of these units came with ocean view. We didn't even know that. And that was a pleasant surprise when the buildings went up and we actually went into them and said, oh, this is pretty cool. But so the buildings there are 2 apartments, 2 units on each floor. The top floor on some of the 2 bedrooms are penthouses, so it's just a 1 unit occupying the entire top floor. And then the other buildings are two-level sort of penthouse rooftops, we call them. And unfortunately, those are all gone. Those are like the first ones to go. But we still have a couple of 2 bedrooms on the water side that are still available. And then we have several on the other side of the complex, which would be the right side if you're looking at the image on the screen, the right side of the building, which are also still available. In the middle, there'll be that pool area, the amenities area. There'll also be a gym built and a clubhouse with a restaurant. The project is looking really, really nice. Really, I think it's going to be really awesome when it's done. And as I mentioned earlier on, it will share the same amenities as residential Casa Linda. So if you wanted a change of vibe, you can go to just hop on the complimentary shuttle, which will also service connections, and go to Casa Linda and use the water park. Or if you live in Casa Linda, you want a different vibe, hop on the shuttle and come to connections and lay off in that pool for a bit. Silvia mentioned it's a 10-minute walk to Playa Encuentro. Really interesting beach, Playa Encuentro. It's really known for its board surfing, but it has a different vibe altogether. There's cafes on that beach, and it's a really nice walk. Attached to the condos also, there are, I believe it's 18 or 19 villas, which are the same style as the ones in Casa Linda, and it's also going to be a gated community. Same setup with the security as Casa Linda. You have access control at the gates. You'll also have supervisors walking throughout the complex, and the mobile supervisors will also extend their tour of duty to that area. It is less than 15 minutes from Cabarete and maybe 20-25 minutes from the Puerto Plata airport. So it's strategically positioned between Casa Linda and Cabarete.
Perfect. So this is our St. Louis project connection. So, okay, let's say you do want to be part of one of our communities. You want to buy a villa, you want to buy a condo. So how does it work? It is a very, very simple process to purchase a property here. As Stephen mentioned before, foreign buyers have exactly the same right as Dominican, so you don't need to be a resident. All you will need to provide is your documentation, whether it's passports, driving license, and there is no need to carry cash around here. All the money transaction can be done by wire transfers. There are a couple of documentation that you will need to provide from like your bank, where the money comes from, and income declaration. And the buying process is slightly different whether it's a villa or a condo, but they all start with a deposit. So once you've chosen the villa that you want to build and the lot where you want to build it, or the condo unit that you want to buy, there is a first agreement and a first deposit. So the deposit starts as $10,000 for a condo, or $25,000 for a villa. So that will guarantee the unit or the lot where your property is going to be. And after the first agreement is done, the lawyer, so there's going to be a Dominican lawyer involved, that will prepare the promise of sale. So the promise of sale is always done in Spanish, but also translated into English. So the official document is actually in Spanish, but obviously for your convenience, we will translate it into English. And this is where the first payment is due, the first down payment, which is 35% of the sale price, minus the deposit that you've already paid. So remember, if it's a condo, it's 10,000, if it's a villa, it's 25,000, but generally the first payment upon the contract signature is 35%. And what about the rest of the payment? So if the property is still under construction, so for example with the villa, the payments will be due as the construction progresses. So there is a second construction payment, and then a third construction payment, and then a last payment upon delivery. Now with the condos, some of the units will be ready pretty soon. So in that case, obviously the amount will be due upon upon signing of the contract. And if the unit is not ready yet, then there will be a payment structure again according to the delivery time of the unit. But as a general rule, down payment of 35%. So this is for what we consider a cash purchase. Okay, so this is when you're paying for your property in full, cash purchase. We get many questions about financing. Do you offer financing? Yes, there are options for financing. The easiest option would be to get an equity loan or a credit line that you already have with your own bank. Bearing in mind that a bank in North America will not issue a mortgage for a property in the Dominican Republic. If you have assets in your own country, or if you already own a property there, then you can refinance your home, take a loan from your own bank, and then obviously arrange the payments to Casa Linda. If that's not an option, then there is also option, there is a possibility of local financing with Dominican banks. And we actually work with two main banks here with mortgages in dollar, which is Scotiabank and Banco Popular, and a third bank with mortgages in pesos, which is Asociación Popular. Just to give you some rough details, the minimum down payment is 35%. So that means the bank will give you a maximum loan of 65% of the property value. And the same process as if you be in your own country, the bank here does a financial assessment. So the things they will be looking at is your credit score, your income, your debt to income ratio. So they do kind of like an analysis of your financial situation and then decide the amount that they are willing to lend you. The terms can be up to 25 years. And now the rates can be fixed for maximum of 5 years, and I believe at the moment we're about 8%, 8.5%. I know they've gone up a little bit worldwide, the interest rate. So this is what we're looking at for a mortgage in US dollar with a Dominican bank. But of course, if you need a little bit more information about financing and more in details, you can contact us and we can send you all the requirements. And so easy process, works exactly like in North America. So you do your contract, and once the property is fully paid, then there is a title issue in your name. And it's important to know that here you own your property, you own the land, you get your title, and you follow pretty much the same system as North America with inheritance, and or if you do decide at some point you want to resell your property, there are no limitations. And so let us know what you prefer. Do you prefer a villa? Do you prefer a condo? And what is your favorite model? Let us know. And we have seen in the last few years that more people are buying property as an investment. So you might buy your property as a vacation home, but what about the rest of the year? What happens when you're not using your property? So can you rent your property out? Yes, you can. And I know there are a lot of limitations now in many places in the States and Canada, but here actually platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, they are fully functional, and this is how a lot of our owners actually rent their villa. And so Sua and Cabarete, they are very popular tourist destinations, so we do get a lot of renters from internationally and locally. So we have a lot of Dominican tourism as well, so people that from the main city, they decide to visit for the weekend, they decide to visit for vacation. Of course, in the winter time, we have a lot of people from Canada, the States, escape the harsh winter. So our last data on occupancy, we are on an average of 70% occupancy, which is really good annually. Yeah, which is good, and actually higher than most places in the Dominican Republic. How does the rental program works? We actually have a number of property managers that operate within Casa Linda. So if you do decide to rent your property, we'll probably put you in contact with, with a different host so that you can interview them, decide who you want to work with, and it's very easy. So they will take care of everything from the maintenance, your cleanliness, receiving the clients, all the payments, all the marketing as well. So all you need to do is just literally let them know the days that you're going to be using the property yourself, the date that is available for rental, and they will look after the rest for you. So it is quite of a stress-free process. And we do have like a list of requirements for if you're going to put your property on a rental program, which is quite basic. So just make sure that your renters are comfortable. But there are no limitation on the decoration that you want to put, so that is entirely up to you. So yes, you can own your property, you can cover your costs, make a little bit of money on top of it as well, and it's stress-free, and somebody's going to do it for you, so you don't even have to have too many worries. So I know we have covered a lot. And a lot of this information and more we are going to find as well on a little buyer's guide that we put together for you. So we are going to email you that after the webinar. And I know some of you have seen a raise hands. Please write if you do have any question. Okay, write them in the question and answer box. Okay, so that we can answer them. And from myself, I mean that's
yeah, we've covered a lot of information here, and happy to answer any questions that might come up. Arnim, hope you're doing great wherever you are. And we're always
my clandestine location.
Okay, so we've got quite a few questions here. Okay, this sounded suits.
Yeah,
Nelson, you will not need a suit in this country.
Tell them keep one suit. I did that. Keep one suit and get rid of the rest.
right.
So Dominican Republic, has a very warm weather. So probably a little blazer, maybe in the middle of the night. But yeah, most of it is shorts or t-shirts or short sleeve shirts. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be using many suits here in the DR.
And Mr.
Shark
Nelson,
attacks.
Exactly.
Shark
No
attacks.
shark attacks.
No shark attacks. No.
Yes, scooters can be stored at the condos. There will be a storage area for that. There are designated parking areas for each condo. Each 2-bedroom comes with 1 parking space, each 3-bedroom comes with 2, but there's also overflow parking there.
Yes, well, so from the look at connection, it appears direct beach access. We say it's about 10 minutes walk from the development to the beach. Yeah, 10 minutes walk.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to that. I was wearing suits, was in a corporate life in the United States, and before I moved here, I put them all in a pile in my backyard, put a little lighter fluid on them, and burned them.
Not do it.
Shorts and flip-flops is what I came with.
Now, Nelson is asking again, how strong is the internet? We are connecting right now from Casa Linda, so it's been stable, the connection and everything, so you can test it by yourself. So we are calling directly from the development. We have a lot of owners that actually run their business from their villa, so it is not a problem. It is a high speed.
Well, we work online all day, every day, and it works out very well.
Exactly. So, Jackie, thank you for the detailed presentation. You're welcome. Do people bring their own cars?
I would say no,
There is
don't.
actually a rule that you can only import cars which are less than 5 years old.
And let me add to that, we imported a car and it was a mistake. We got here with some issues and of course, nobody took responsibility for it. The travel insurance didn't cover it because I couldn't prove that it wasn't done on the boat that it was being shipped on. Buy your car here.
Yes, there are a lot of dealers, there's a lot of option. One personal advice, buy something like an SUV or a Jeep, something that is a little bit higher up, definitely, because it's more comfortable to drive around here. Yes, the webinar will be emailed to you, so this is recording and we'll can send you a copy so you can watch it as many times as you want. It will be on YouTube as well. Does the shuttle run from the condos as well? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So the shuttle bus, the condos are actually on the way to Cabarete. So when the shuttle bus is going to go towards Cabarete, it's going to stop at Connection and then follow on to Cabarete. And on the way back from Cabarete, again, stop at Connection for you to go to Sosua.
And the message from Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. So, and Jack is asking, is there additional cost to modify the floor plan? It depends. As a general rule, if there is no increase of square footage, there is no charge. So it depends on the modification that you want to make. So let's say that you want to move the laundry room. You pick a model where the laundry room is inside and you want to put it outside. As long as you don't change the size, the total size of the property, then there is no charge. Now, if you want to increase something, let's say that you want to add a storage room, then in that case, yes, there is a charge.
Well, because you add more materials and more labor, obviously we need to charge for that.
Yeah, but if the general square footage is not changing, then no, there is no charge. And it's important to know we do offer free architect service. So we do have an architect team on site that will help you, create the perfect villa, and you can go back and forwards with them. Few times, not unlimited, okay, but you can make different changes
Well,
and
that's a very good point.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Silvia, that's a very good point. You get 5 groups of changes at no charge. Now, the architecture department likes to keep those to a minimum, but the reality is there could be numerous changes in each group of changes at no charge. All right?
I think we got a couple of people that got confused with the time as well, because it's complicated when you're connecting from different people from different locations. Also, one thing I think that is even more confusing, that we do not change the time here.
Right, we
So
don't
depending on the time of the year, sometimes we are the same time zone as, for example, Toronto. Another time, the East Coast, another time we are 1 hour.
That's correct,
behind.
So
Yeah.
that's called daylight savings time. I know some states are no longer doing it, but we never do it.
Actually, as a funny fact, they tried once and nobody knew what time it was anymore, so it was very confusing. So they just so no, we'll just keep the same time. Already, time is a very it's a bit of a relative concept in this country.
So Wally, those renting out to guests with Airbnb, any issues with conduct will affect the atmosphere in the area. We have very strong rules for the renters. They sign a contract when they rent a villa, no matter who the host is, they have to come through our reception area, and I mean Casa Linda's reception area. And we keep a really tight rein on that because we have a lot of full-time residents and we don't want to disturb the peace of a resident owner or renter. Anything to add to that, Silvia?
No, and as you say, we need to respect everybody in the neighborhood. And Arnim, you can speak yourself. You've been a resident here in Casa Linda. It is pretty peaceful when you go around here. And if something does escalate, then our security escalated too. So
I would say the security is pretty proactive when it comes to conduct. They try to intervene on loud noises before it becomes a complaint. That's not to say that there hasn't been issues like everywhere else, but I give full props to our security department for always being on top of things. Some of the rowdiest weekends, like Super Bowl weekend, I know the last one, there was 0 incidents. Actually, the last couple of years, there was 0 incidences over Super Bowl weekend. I think most people that come here are law-abiding people, and as long as they understand what the rules are and they know they're brought up on it, then they will abide.
And there are security have process in place for it. So there is, different, there's a warning, and ultimately something doesn't obey is, out. So yes, so there are strict rules. And we also have, very important as well to know, there are rules on how many visitors you can have in the villa. So, for example, if you rent out a 2-bedroom villa, then we only allow a maximum of 4 adult occupancy. So there are regulations for that as well. What's the average price of owning a villa? Always asking.
A 3-bedroom villa.
A 3-bedroom villa, sorry. If you look at the price list, actually the 3-bedroom, the first 3-bedroom you will see is the Sunseeker, which starts at 369. However, there are other option more of on a budget as well. So as Stephen was saying about the guest house, so you could build a 2-bedroom villa and add a guest house to make it 3 bedrooms within the 300,
exactly.
Without the 300. So I would say about 300,000, yeah, for starting at 300,000 for a 3-bedroom.
And really that all depends on how big of a villa you want. 3-bedroom can mean a lot of things to a lot of people.
And Rob has got an interesting question. What's the effect of inflation on the villas? Have the prices already increased? And if so, do you know what the percentage increase is?
Well, prices have gone up everywhere in the world. Construction material prices have gone up. You can jump on the website or communicate with us and we'd be happy to send you a price list.
Yes.
Still much more economical than North American pricing and better weather.
Fiber optic condos, yes, the condos have the same internet company that provides Casa Linda, which is a high-speed internet.
And you can buy any speed that you want. Many times the villa owners will put a slower speed for economical, and then owners, when they live there, will put a higher speed internet for their personal usage. That's what we're seeing.
Just as a side note, I run on 30 megs, and I do a lot of streaming, and it's more than sufficient for me, and that's fiber.
And a lot of new people, or a lot of homeowners here, are now getting
Starlink.
Starlink, thank you. I'm drawing a blank there. Starlink, and you can get, what is that, up to 200 megs?
I believe it's up to 100, maybe 200. I know up to 100 for sure.
Very fast. Mm-hmm. So hope that answers your question.
Jack is asking, what is the amount of the second and third payment? I guess she refers about the villas, which it's mentioned we're interested in the villas. So the first construction payment will be 35%, then the second construction payment will be 30%, and then the third payment
is 25, and then 10 when the villa is delivered. All of that is based on the full price, whichever villa you choose, and the final price.
Yeah, and the timing as well is on construction stages. So each villa is divided in construction stages. So once the first stage is done, then you will be notified to send the second payment. Usually payments are every 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, right. That's average time.
Melvin, love to answer your question. Yes, we can do up to 7 bedrooms. Any size villa you want, you dream it, we build it.
Yeah, there is no limit. There is a limit from 2 bedroom, but up and then
minimum
we have
2 bedroom and then up to 7.
We have lots which are 1,200 square meter,
which is a quarter acre.
Yeah.
Melvin, give me a call.
It is possible to see the different models of the home. Yes, of course, Mario. We can email that to you with all the price list and all the floor plan. Golf course, Arnim, I think you're the best one to answer that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a Playa Dorada golf course, which is about a half-an-hour drive from Casa Linda. It's going towards Puerto Plata. So yeah, there is an excellent golf course there, and being an owner in Casa Linda would entitle you to special pricing also. I believe the membership fee is $500 per year. So that's pretty good.
Well, that's your gold cover, Naomi. And in Casa Linda, does the square footage shown on the plans include the outdoor covered patio? Yes. So everything.
In any tropical country, it includes anything with a floor and a roof.
Yeah.
Because there's so much outdoor living, and our outdoor living spaces can be a significant part of the square footage. It has, generally speaking, floors, walls, electric, plumbing, etc., a bar. So you get to enjoy the breeze.
Safety. We touched on the webinar obviously earlier on. I think you just have to be a little bit of common sense, really getting out and about here.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
You know, I'm from North America. I've been here 18 years. I've never felt safer here, or excuse me, never felt as safe in the United States as I do here. This is a gentle population. Crime of opportunity is everywhere in the world. Violent crime, we live in a small community here, Sosua and Cabarete. Very rare to find anything significant. I raised 2 daughters here. I always felt safer with my children out and about. You know, as a father, that's part of your job, as I see it, is to make sure your family is safe, your wife, your children, etc. But with 2 girls, maybe even more responsibility. Yes, it's very safe here, to answer your question. Thank you, Silvia.
And then, of course, Casa Linda, you know, with all the amenities we mentioned, the security, so it's even more peace of mind. And Mari's asking about taxes, land transfer tax and property tax.
We touched on that earlier. Anything over 140,000 is taxed at 1%. That 140,000 is an exemption for investors in this country. And there is a title transfer tax as well. That's at 3%. That's a one-time fee at 3%.
So, and this is standard for for all the projects in the Dominican Republic. Yes, Dave, we will send a price list and some more information on the Sunseeker and models to view. Yes, actually, I didn't. Yes, so if any of you would like to come here and visit Casa Linda, because we don't really have model homes, but we talked about people putting their villa on the rental program. So you can actually rent one of the villas and experience the community. So if you're interested in doing that, let us know. Let us know how many bedrooms you need. Let us know the dates that you want to travel, so we can make some suggestions for you. And even better, so if you come and visit us and you commit to purchase, we actually discount your travel expenses off the villa price. So we give you like a bit of a travel credit. So yes, come and visit us, come and meet us. We can show you all the models that we have.
Pavel, you dream it, we build it. You want a bathtub, we'll get you a bathtub. You want a dishwasher, we'll install a dishwasher. Most of the rental homes have dishwashers.
Actually, the condos already include the dishwasher. Right. The villa don't include appliances, but yes, we can design the space for a dishwasher if you want to add one.
And let's clarify that, Sylvia. The condos come with all the appliances. The villas do not. You tell us what appliances you're going to put in them, and we will build the kitchen around that and laundry room around that. Mm-hmm.
When was the last time a hurricane passed? Well, hurricane forces?
Never. The north shore of the Dominican Republic, which really is the province of Puerto Plata, Sosua, and Cabarete, has never had a hurricane on record. My wife and I experienced Hurricane Andrew, and that's part of the reason we chose here.
Yeah, and we get tropical storm, but there's nothing. They're not like big enough or strong enough like hurricane to be like catastrophic. Yes.
Correct.
Premium lot upgrades. $30,000 for the premium lot.
So that you get a second floor ocean view. Mm-hmm. So we have a handful of villas to choose from that are 2 floors. You'll get a spotty view from the first floor and an expansive view from the second one. Give us a call, we'd love to chat with you about that.
Larry's asking, how far is the beach and shopping from the villas or condos? So remember, the villas for Casa Linda are located in a different area for the condos. So the condo we already mentioned is like a 10 minutes walk. From Casa Linda, you've measured that.
Yeah, we're talking about the walk from Connections?
Yeah, no, they're from Casa Linda.
I wouldn't recommend the walk, but it's 6 minutes to the nearest beach by car or moto or probably even bicycle.
Or by our shuttle bus.
Or a shuttle bus. That's right.
And the closest one are Sosua. So Sosua is the closest beach. You have Playa Alicia.
And let me say hi, Joan. We'll send you the information you've requested via email here shortly.
Yeah. Mari's asking about landscape. Yes, the price of the villa includes landscape, and you get from our project coordinator, you get a list of plants that you can, so you can either smell it or eat it.
And a lot of people choose banana plants or cherry trees or things like this in their yard. It's nothing better than eating fruit that grows in your own yard.
So yeah, the first landscape it's all included, and also privacy is a very big thing as well. So between each villa, we grow a natural fence that can be cayena, hibiscus, or it can be like areca palm that grow very quickly and guarantee your privacy.
Well, that's a very good question, and we should touch on that a little further. We don't allow concrete walls around your villa, and you don't really want them. You want a breathable fence, which is a living hedge. And they create quite good privacy, but they don't kill the wind. And we are in the kite surfing capital of the Caribbean, maybe even the world, in Cabarete, so there's always a nice Caribbean breeze here.
And Joanne is asking about the HOA for connection.
That's Joan Brooks, she's a buyer, and I'll send that to you via email shortly.
Yes, they start about 350 US, and they go by the square footage of
each unit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
HOA fee, yes, of course. Naomi is asking, yes, because we offer amenities, we offer service. So again, I can send you all that details by email, Naomi. Plants and flowers, I think we've covered. Yeah. I will be in the DR. John, we'll love to meet you. Yeah, let's chat and let's see how we can get together. Some of you have missed the presentation. We will send you the link for the presentation. Again, asking about averagely costly mom for all service, we can send you the list of the HOA, and also we have a list of price list of a couple of companies that operate, so we can give you an idea of how much is like for to clean the pool, how much is to clean your to take care of your garden and things like that.
And yes, we touched on time frame, but we'll talk about it again. It's a 5-month build time. We've just brought that down from 7 months. However, 5 months from start to finish.
Some of you are asking about larger lots. Yes, you can. So if you want to have a bigger garden, or if you want to, maybe leave space to add an extra bedroom or a guest house in the future. At the moment in phase 12 is $112 US per square meter.
Which is very close to a square yard, or 10.76 square feet per square meter, for those of you that calculate in feet and inches.
And a fence, yeah, you can pull, oh my God, I can never say that word, chain
link. Or a chain link fence. So we are pet friendly.
Yes.
So if you have a dog, what we suggest is you put a chain link fence in the hedge, and then it's hidden and it looks great. Now your gates wouldn't be hidden, but there are a lot of dogs here, and we are a dog friendly community, and many of us are dog lovers. Silvia has a dog, and I have a whole crew of dogs.
And I've got 2
dogs here, so it's definitely a dog friendly community. Mario, you would like to rent a villa? Yes, just say pop me an email. When would you like to come? How many bedrooms you need? And we'll send you some options.
Or for those of you that want to rent, you can go to casalindacity.com and speak to different hosts and see how that process works for you. It's very simple. There are a variety of hosts that have numerous villas. You can view the villa, choose the one that you want, communicate directly with them, and go from there. Let us know when you're going to be here, and we'd love to meet you and show you around.
Yes. Dave is asking about Convo Tour. We're very, very close.
Well, here's what we say on that. There's no legal reason we will not be provided Convo Tour at this stage. And we cannot announce Convo Tour until it's actually in our possession, and Convo Tour is an additional exoneration.
Yes, so
as soon as we get it, we'll be doing a dance, I think, all of us.
Some tax benefit, yeah. I have to say it turned out to be more of a complicated process than the government announced it at the beginning. You know, one was saying that they make it sound so easy, but it turned out like a lot of bureaucracy and everything. So, but we're very, very close. Somebody's asking about the cost of appliances for the villa.
We use a calculator for each bedroom. So if it's a 2-bedroom villa, appliances and all the inventory that's required to set it up as a rental, and there is a specific list, not a specific color or style, but a specific list of inventory required for rental. So if it was a 2-bedroom, it'd be approximately starting just over 20,000. If it's a 3-bedroom, just over 30. It's a 4-bedroom, it comes down just slightly.
And that's appliances and furnishing. Because
That's right.
Naomi asked 2 questions. What is the average cost for appliances and what is the cost for furnishing? So everything included is the amount that's
every bit of inventory that you need. And let's touch on that. Here we have Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, all the brand names that you might be used to.
Okay, so Larry's asking about models and prices. Yes, we can send you that. Building time, we've covered that. The pets, yes, we do. We sold it.
Well, Melvin, what is the percent paid for the property manager? Melvin, it starts at 10% plus a $50 check-in, check-out fee. Now, Melvin's question is, what is the percentage paid for a property manager? And what he's saying there is, when the owner is not here, the manager manages your villa and they take care of every aspect. And we touched on that earlier in the seminar. They receive your guests at our reception area, they take them to the villa, they make sure they understand how to use the remotes, the ACs are generally already on, the villa's ready to receive them. So that starts at 10% plus a $50 check-in, check-out. And some of the hosts have slightly different programs. So when your villa is built or before it's delivered, we can introduce you to some of the hosts and you can choose who you want to work with.
And
excuse me, did that get long-winded?
No. I was just looking at this question. Yeah, I mean, we have to cut very shortly. Do you want to answer?
No. Yeah, we'll send an email to this gentleman that's asking a question. Boy, lots of questions coming up, lots of good questions, yes. But we're winding down here. Noreen, how much time do we have?
So we'll have a look at each individual question and we'll answer you and email you back with the information that you have requested. So I think that will get too long on YouTube as well.
Right, let me just say very quickly, we appreciate all of your interest. We appreciate the questions. We're just out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and please come and see us. Let us know when you can travel, and it will be a pleasure, to show you around and make you experience the real Dominican life.
Always happy to answer any questions that you may have. Have a great day. Bye-bye.